you grew up in Singapore, you probably remember the Milo truck. It shows up on school sports day, ready to hand you a cup of ice cold Milo once you finish your race. It's a universally beloved childhood memory and a sophisticated form of child marketing, because this is conditioning at its finest. Right after children have completed something difficult, when they're hot and sweaty, at their peak emotional openness, a branded vehicle offers them a cool drink and a jolt of sugar. Nestle is not just linking Milo with finishing a race, but to the very idea of rewarding yourself with the feeling of happiness after you've done something hard. Big Food has long followed this playbook to turn children into their next generation of loyal customers. Because research has consistently found that early childhood brand exposure creates preferences that extend into adulthood. Simply put, the customer lifetime value of an 8-year-old is enormous. So that's why in the 1990s, when American public schools were cash-strapped, they began selling pouring rights to companies like Coke and Pepsi, who would then stock all of the school's vending machines, snack bars, and sporting events. However, by 2010, federal law had pushed these sugary drink contracts out of K-12 schools. But we all know that Big Food doesn't give up that easily. Coke and Pepsi took their tried-and-true model overseas to make up for declining home profits. Soon, they were spending billions in places like Brazil, China, India, and Mexico to replicate the same type of brand imprinting on international children. Now, in Singapore, Nestle was smarter. They had inroads with the government long before Coke and Pepsi were scrambling for new markets. In fact, since the 1950s, Milo has been sponsoring youth sports through the Ministry of Education. To this day, a drink that has around 13 grams of sugar carries the Healthier Choice logo, which is a state-backed endorsement that allows it to be sold in schools. But the Healthier Choice symbol just means it's quote-unquote healthier than other alternatives in the same category. For Milo, that category is chocolate malt beverages, so not exactly a high bar to clear. Now, I'm not here to hate on Milo or soda or honestly any other food and drink. There's nothing wrong with enjoying a cold Milo on a hot day after a long run. But for a government that spends considerable energy warning its residents of the dangers of eating too much salt, sugar, and fat, it's worth asking why official policies have deemed it all right for children to be systematically conditioned by a brand from the time they're in primary school. Because when those children reach adulthood and they're told to make better choices, choose less sugary drinks, read the label, and exercise better judgment, that's no longer neutral public health advice. That's an abdication of responsibility. The government helped install this reflex, but now treats it as a matter of personal choice. Moralizing someone's inability to resist as personal failing, then, is a form of gaslighting.